ಸರ್, ಫಾರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಟಿಪ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಲೈಕ್ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರು ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ನಾವು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅದನ್ನು. ಲೈಕ್ ಇಫ್ ಎನಿ ನ್ಯೂ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಡೈಲಿ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡದೇ ಇರೋಂಥ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಥರ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ.
So, whenever you approach a character, for example, I get a negative role. So you need to first mark what are the main things that would make this character little more cinematic. Oh, film villain. Then you need to avoid that. For example, Garuda Gamana, Rishabha Vahana. The moment you choose a gangster, this thing, I have a voice which is deep. But if you see Garuda Gamana, I haven't used that deep voice at all. I shout in the shrillest of voice. Even in this character, I haven't used the character which is deep. Why did I do that? Because the moment you play a gangster film or gangster role, you want to use that voice to scare. But the problem there in that film is the character doesn't know that he's a gangster, right? He doesn't know that he's a rowdy. Everybody around him is scared. But imagine, like, I play another role in Turbo where he absolutely knows that he is the rowdy. So he will use his voice. You understand? The moment he doesn't know that I am a rowdy, he will be a normal person. So he'll be talking in a normal voice. The moment he knows that he has power, so he will speak in a voice which is much more deeper. So you need to keep on thinking about the characters. The mistake that might happen is we keep on going to a comfortable thing that we have seen on screen. So whatever we have seen on screen, we will duplicate that. So what that does is, it will give a feeling where, how did that character act? He was okay, he was fine, he was decent. But it doesn't become very deep or very beautiful. Or like, something that stays with you. That is why whenever you see an actor like Vijay Sethupathi or Fahad Fasil, something stays with you because they will bring you something that you haven't expected. Because you always see a cinema in a cinematic eyes. But there came a reality where, like, some piece came and that was a little shocking to you. So you keep on trying to understand the psyche of the character more rather than duplicating something you have seen on screen. That's the one mistake normally people do. So the moment, like, everybody who is big wants to play rowdy. Why is that? Because they have seen that, like, people that like that will only be, worked as a rowdy on screen. That is where Nelson used them to dance for a music, tak 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 jim, and you laughed about it. Why? But he had the courage to do that. He had the courage to do that. If it didn't work, you would have trolled him, right? You have seen? Yeah, you have seen. Jailer, you have seen.
Jailer, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't imagine that. You are looking at a negative character and he is dancing, people around him, and you'll still like the negative character. You don't hate him, right?
Yeah.
Normally what we see is we want to make the character hate. I mean, we want the negative character, we should hate them. But in here, the people around him are funny. Huh? Yeah, Vinayakan sir, the people around him are funny. They are very funny. That is what brought the freshness to the whole script. That is why Jailer worked. That is why you laughed, you cried, you smiled, you did everything, and still you whistled for the hero, because Nelson rightly recognized who Rajinikanth is. Like, you don't need to put anything to him. He's already, the moment he comes, you will whistle. There is no doubt about it. So he kept on working on the other characters and made them so funny, and that contrast worked beautifully. So that's the thing. Like, when you do something very new, so that works. So don't duplicate is the simplest thing that I would ask new actors to do. Yeah.
Hello, sir. I am Venkatesh, an aspiring filmmaker. My question is, like, what exactly inspired you to enter into film industry?
So when my child, I was born in a city called Bhadravati in Karnataka, which is a cinema-loving city. But I was a Mangalorean, where, like, my parents shifted there, like, when I was born, and then they came back after my third standard. And in my childhood, cinema was the only place, like, where I would go and get entertained. And that's the only escape I had from the world that, like, I was living in. And I used to stare the, what do you call, like, poster for hours and hours and hours. Like, I would love the posters. So that's the reason, like, every time you see the posters from our film, it will be limited and it will have its own characters. Maybe Garuda Gamana, the moment you imagine there is a red face and the blue face that is coming in front of you. The reason being, like, I used to love the posters so very much. And then I came to Mangalore, and then, like, life got busy, and I became an RJ and did so many things. And one day, I was doing advertisement, like, advertisement, and somebody came to me and asked, like, do you want to write a short film? And I was not, I never thought, like, I can write a film, or I can do something. And the moment he asked, I was like, yeah, let me try it. So I shot that, I wrote that short film and gave it to somebody, and that short film happened. But when I saw the short film, when I came to the set of the short film, I felt that there is something off. But the director was absolutely happy with the short film. I could sense that, okay, there is something off, but I don't know the language of it. I don't know anything about it. And the film got completed. And when I saw the edit, it was exactly as I imagined. So I felt very happy that, like, I have a judgment. Then we started doing small ads. And I got the kick of it. For the first time in my life, when I did a short film and it got completed, and when I saw the short film for the first time, I got the greatest kick of my life. Like, whatever I wanted, that happened. So that kick, that supreme kick actually made me to come into cinema. So then I decided, then I knew for sure, like, this is something I want to do. So it is not that, like, after you complete something, people compliment you, people give you an award, people tell you you're a greatest filmmaker. That doesn't give you a kick. It is all superficial. But in the process, you imagine this, okay, this wall would look great on white paint. Then you paint it white. And if it looks great, there is a kick in it. Wow, okay, it's beautiful. Whatever I imagined, that happened. So then I decided, like, this is the only thing that I want to do in my life, because nothing gave me kick like this. So that's when I decided I want to become a filmmaker. And then, like, it took a long time, but yeah, it was fun.
హాయ్ సార్. సార్
Sorry, brother.
సార్ మూవీ సేమ్ తెలుగు మూవీ చూసినట్టే ఉంది, డబ్బింగ్ కూడా బాగా చేశారు. నెక్స్ట్ ఇది సెకండ్ టైం చూసాను నేను. సెకండ్ టైం కూడా హార్ట్ఫుల్గా నవ్వుకున్నాం. బట్ ఆల్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ రియలిస్టిక్గా యాక్ట్ చేశారు. దాని గురించి చెప్తారేమో?
Yeah, everybody here you have seen is a theatre actors, and they're fantastic actors, very good actors. Our director, he's a theatre director as well, so he believes in workshop. I told my first film that, like, I shot in 17 days. For 17 days shoot, I practiced for 2.5 months. Every single day, I used to call the actors. If he had dialogue, if he didn't had dialogue, it didn't matter to me. It's like, I used to call him. Even if he's standing behind a scene, he should stand behind the scene. So that is when, like, I could create the film that I wanted in my first film. Even in this film. So our director had rehearsed so much. Every moment, every body language, every dialogue in the exact tone that he wanted it to happen. So that is the reason whatever you see, he has polished so much. So if you think it's realistic, it is actually not. It is a little uptone, but it is realistic in the world of this. For example, you have seen Mad Max Fury Road. It's a loud acting. It is not a real acting, but you will believe because the setup actually demands that acting. So it's not subtle acting is the greatest acting every time. It's about what is the setup. We need to understand what is the setup of the character. What is the setup of the cinema? Where the cinema is happening. In that, for example, the city, the place that is happening is a little loud. Everything is exaggerated. So that is the reason they need to put a little, body language wise, everything should be a little up. So it has matched so much, so well, that you think that, okay, it's very realistic. That's the beauty of cinema. There is nothing reality once you switch on a light, put some makeup, and put a costume and, come in front of the camera. But it is your duty to make people believe that it is real. It is absolutely real. So no reality in cinema is the same. The reality of a ega is absolutely different from a reality of a Magadira. But everything should look real. That's the beauty. Yeah.